Yo, what's going on, my fellow football fanatics? My name is Cole Topham, and today we will be analyzing the top 5 moments from the first media day at the NFL Combine, which is really, when you think about it, the Paris Fashion Week equivalent for film nerds. Anyway, these are just 5 short topics I found interesting, and I can't wait to get into the actual athletic testing. But for now, you can follow me on Twitter for coverage of the NFL Draft, scouting breakdowns, and more at Ham Analysis. Thank you so much for tuning in, and on to the first topic. Mike Mayock, the general manager for the now Las Vegas Raiders, fielded questions from the media at the NFL Combine yesterday. A question that came up was about why so many wide receivers are hit and miss early in drafts. This clip comes from Vic Tafur on Twitter, who is a Raiders beat reporter for The Athletic.
Reason number one is the lack of quality press coverage in college football. When you've got a grown man trying to keep you from getting off the line of scrimmage that's competent, long, and tough, that's a different issue, okay? That's number one. Number two is when you are able to get off the line of scrimmage and the picture changes, the coverage changes, you could go from being the third option on the backside to the first option on the front side. And you gotta filter that on the run without slowing down. So think about it. When you have to slow down and you're thinking, what happens? Physically, you're slower. You're not there. Why do guys not look as quick as they did in college? That's usually the biggest telltale because they're confused. They're not sure where they're going. And then I think number three, it's just how much offense you have to absorb. I've met with some of the college wideouts already this year, and you know what they're doing. Half of them are doing this pre-snap. They look over at the sideline and they have their own individual coach telling them what route to run. John Gruden's head would explode. Right? You better get in there and get in the huddle, and you better learn 3 positions, not 1. And what he's asking you to learn is mind-boggling. So I think they're the 3 main reasons a rookie wide receiver production isn't where it should be in the NFL.
So, Mayock's first point, the lack of quality press coverage in college football. Some teams in the NCAA, rather some defensive backs, just lack the knowledge in how to effectively misdirect and rattle the receiver in front of them. They don't know how to hand jab, their footwork is sloppy, so the receiver can just outrun them by taking advantage of poor fundamentals. So when these receivers get to the NFL, they face veteran DBs that have made their careers off playing elite press coverage. And I'm sure that's a wake-up call for so many wide receivers that didn't face that type of aggressive coverage in college. They're not used to being thrown around and pushed this way and that. And it seems like that is a big frustration of Mayock, and he wants receivers that understand how to beat those physical corners. Mayock's next issue appears to be just the overall intelligence of the receivers. Mayock, and Gruden for that matter, seem to prefer receivers that win with their minds as well as their physical abilities. Some receivers, they're just talented and athletically gifted. There are always going to be those specimens like Laviska Shenault and DK Metcalf and Calvin Johnson, although I'm not trying to throw Johnson in as the latter as a direct comparison, but it's how these receivers can identify and analyze coverages and adapt to changing coverages to benefit the offense. That's what Mayock likes and wants to see in his receivers. It's why a guy like Hunter Renfrow was the perfect fit for the Raiders. A guy that prided himself off his football knowledge and route running and had a prosperous career at Clemson and a solid rookie year in the NFL because of it. And that seems to be a big knock on this year's wideouts, at least according to Mayock. He mentioned that most of them weren't in the huddle and were relying on coaches on the sideline to tell them what route to run. Working in Gruden's scheme, which is undoubtedly complicated, complex, and requires constant and clear communication, Mayock needs capable receivers with high football IQ that will thrive in his head coach's system. Second topic we're talking about today, Henry RUGGS, who has been the guy to watch at the Combine ever since he ran a 4.25 40-yard dash at Alabama's Pro Day in 2019. This guy is just a jet engine in the flesh, and he said today during his podium press conference that he has targeted Ross's 4.22 record set at the Combine 3 years ago in 2017. Roll the clip.
I'm trying to hit the lowest ever, so 4.22 or lower.
The biggest thing about Ruggs here is that he looks so calm and confident. He mentioned that he never asked for any of the times after he ran, and he has done that type of dash upfield to train for the event. But just watching his demeanor, a little bit of swagger, a little bit of humbleness, Ruggs seems to know that he is going to make history on Thursday. He believes it. Everybody in the country will be tuning in. He's received tips from former Alabama receivers on how to tackle the Combine and train for the 40. And on top of that, he's got his teammate, Jerry Jeudy, to push him and compete with him. Ruggs is going to light up the Combine, but I hope people realize that he's not just a burner. I talked about him on a recent episode of my show, which I'll link in the description below, but there's more to Ruggs than speed. He has sure and confident hands, he's slippery after the catch, and he knows how to work the angles on his routes. He's a top 3 wide receiver in my book. Earlier in the offseason, it seemed like Pro Bowl running back LeVeon Bell and Jets head coach Adam Gase were going through a rough patch. Things already didn't seem great between the two when rumors came out after Bell's signing that Gase never really wanted Bell in the first place, and that was made worse when Bell failed to record a single game over 100 rushing yards in 2019. And then the offseason drama started. Gase was asked in a press conference whether or not he wanted Bell back next season, and he responded with, quote, "Well, he's under contract for 3 more years," and deferred questions to Joe Douglas, New York's general manager, the following day. Bell then responded on Twitter, depicting a disgruntled Michael Scott from The Office. But now things appear to have been cleared up. Here's a clip.
There hasn't been talk as far as him going anywhere. I mean, we're excited about LeVeon. LeVeon's been a great teammate. I can't tell you how great he's been. I had a great conversation with him at the end of the season exit meeting, and I know he's been working hard down in Miami, down at Bomberitos, and I know he's excited to get back, and we're excited to have him.
Douglas mentioned the meeting he and Bell had at the end of the season, and it appears both sides are now on the same page and motivated to work with each other to achieve the common goal of bringing the New York Jets back to relevance in an AFC East that is quickly becoming more and more competitive with each year. This seems to be an answer by Douglas that doesn't say much, but the fact that there has been zero trade talk regarding Bell has to be a relief for many Jets fans. Jalen Hurts enjoyed a very productive season after shedding his Crimson Tide colors in favor of Oklahoma's Maroon last year. 3,851 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And yet, somehow, a question was brought up about his opinion about possibly suiting up at a different position in the NFL.
Yeah, I've always been a team-first guy, but I think I'm a quarterback. I think that's that.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts is a humble guy, and there have been numerous articles about his character and him being a great teammate and a leader, which is why this answer was so cordial. But Hurts didn't even try to justify why he thinks he's a better fit at quarterback, because he just is. He's only ever been a quarterback. It's deja vu all over again with Lamar Jackson's situation 2 years ago leading up to the draft. Stop asking African American quarterbacks to change positions when they are Heisman runner-ups and Heisman winners. It's honestly just so frustrating to see the media make the same mistake over and over again, and the responsibility lies on me and all of you watching to fix this narrative. And that's that. Rounding out my list is CeeDee Lamb. And Lamb, he is my number 1 wide receiver in this draft. He has a lengthy list of potential suitors in the top half of the draft. He's been linked excessively to the Raiders and Cardinals, and he actually met with Arizona's staff this week. He talked about that and the idea of him linking up with former Oklahoma teammate and quarterback Kyler Murray, last year's number 1 overall selection, in his podium presser.
That's my guy, man. That's a very familiar question, but been a great relationship my sophomore year with him. I had a couple times before my freshman year working out with him, so we kind of built a great connection. And man, that'd be a huge honor on my end. Yeah, I've met with the Cardinals already. I like the coaching staff. Met with the GM. Kind of vibing a little bit, and all great energy.
Right out of the gate, he was asked about Murray, and he was low-key about it, but it seemed like he would welcome the chance to reunite with Murray and that he and the team were vibing, which is obviously a good sign. Lamb has had the luxury of playing with two former first overall selections in Murray and Baker Mayfield 2 years ago, and he recorded 111 catches for 1,965 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns over that span, with Murray contributing to 65 receptions, 1,158 yards, and 11 touchdowns when Lamb was a sophomore. Lamb, he's a big, physical wideout with impressive agility for a guy his size and mechanical strides in his route running. Wherever Lamb goes, he'll be able to make a difference as either the number 1 or number 2 option. That's a wrap for day 1 of media coverage at the NFL Combine. And if you like this video, please make sure to drop a thumbs up and comment who your favorite NFL draft prospect is heading into the athletic testing of the NFL Combine. My name is Cole Topham. You can follow me on Twitter at HamAnalysis, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.